querida compañera, mi compañera, querida compañera, mi compañera. Ella está más linda que la luna llena y brilla más fuerte que el mismo sol. Es del movimiento la compañera y es el...
Bienvenidos and welcome to San Diego Barrio Stories and Latino USA TV. This is Dr. Jose Leyba here in Barrio Logan. I grew up in Shelltown, Viva Shelltown, and I'm just so proud and happy to be here with a young director of the Chicano Park Museum. And I want all of our audience to support this museum because it is preserving a very important Southern California, and actually for our country, the struggle that San Diegans went through to build this park and to have a presence to celebrate our culture and our history. So today we have Val Jaimes, the director of the Chicano Park Museum. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here, and I just feel really grateful to be in everyone's presence, and I love the work that you guys are doing, so happy to support.
Pues muchas gracias. And we want to thank you for allowing us to bring our film crew here to document
Always.
what you're doing in the museum. So tell me a little bit about your family and
Yes.
your history, and then how did you get to be the director of the Chicano Park Museum? But let's start with your family first.
Yeah, so my family, I grew up in Santa Barbara, California. It's about 3.5 to 4 hours north, depending on traffic, of course. But yeah, I grew up in the east side. That's our barrio there. I grew up with my grandparents, you know, with my extended family, my tias, my tios, the first grandchild. My grandparents did migrate here. And so I had, you know, different households throughout that, you know, living with one side of my family, then moving with another side of my family. I think that was the best thing to experience as a child growing up and really learning about my culture. But yeah, I grew up with extended family, you know, big home, over 10 people. I don't know how many people.
I think we all did. Had tíos and tías, perros y gatos. That was part of our Chicano Latino experience.
Yes, definitely. And for me, being an oldest sister has shaped a lot of my identity, and I have 2 younger sisters. So, you know, first generation college student and older sister has been the best, you know, the most honorable thing, part of my identities as a Chicana as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about my upbringing. I did strive for higher education, you know, being in that role.
So striving for higher education, but what was your motivation? I mean, because look at so many of our friends, our colleagues, and even my primos and primas that never were interested or for whatever reason couldn't make it. Why did you get interested in education?
I've thought about that, and I felt as though it was a duty of mine. Like I wanted it very deeply for myself. I was never pushed to do that at all by my parents, of 1000% supportive of it along the way, but they never pushed me to do that. And it was kind of myself pushing myself to do it. You know, given the struggles that my family has endured and sacrificed for us, I think I just owed it to my family as a whole, you know? So, yeah, it was like a self-inflicted kind of pursuit, you know? So, and I think, of course, being that older sister really pushed me to, you know, to try to show it to my younger sisters, and grateful that I am the first grandchild too. And I have so many primos and primas, and they're young and growing up. And now I feel like it is my duty to, you know, be there for them and support them. And
you know, I meet so many Chicanas, Latinas that said it was my duty to do this to support my family. So that's, I think that you've carried that on to now being the director of the Chicano Park Museum. So how did you get to that role?
Yes. Long story short, I did pursue higher education. So I did come down to San Diego. I got my bachelor's, my BA in ethnic studies and sociology at the University of San Diego, where I did find a mentor, Dr. Alberto Pulido, who's the vice chair of the museum, of the Chicano Park Museum and Cultural Center. And, you know, he was my mentor, and it was really the first person to allow me to learn about my own true histories. And really, one of my biggest takeaways and frustrations is that I had to learn about my own community and I had to leave my own community to learn about it. I didn't grow up learning about, the Chicano struggle and resilience in Santa Barbara. That is very apparent. We do have that until leaving. So, so he was very much guiding in that way, but he also taught me the importance of reciprocity and understanding the intricacies of the roles in higher education. We have this privilege. We are Chicanos, Chicanas, and what are we going to do with this? How do we give back? So that really stood out to me. And eventually, he offered this opportunity to start organizing with this community. He really brought me in and kind of welcomed me and introduced me to folks. And that's how I started off organizing, community events, so
he kind of put you on the path to leadership, right? So we have to give Dr. Alberto Pulido a shout out because he was started the Ethnic Studies program. He's been here supporting this Chicano museum. And so we hope to see him in the future on San Diego Barrio Stories.
Yes, definitely.
So continue how you became the executive director and what your vision for the future is.
Yes. So on that path after, being introduced and just trying to I just wanted the intentions of supporting, understanding my role and just being a supportive person. So I kept doing that. And then, of course, I was able to meet Josephine Talamantez, who is our board chair. And she is a blessing. And I've been able to learn so much from her. She's also a mentor of mine. And she, approached me along with Dr. Pulido and said, we have the Chicano Park Museum and Cultural Center, and we are looking for people to help us build this. So I was hired as an executive administrative assistant, and I was helping. I was, I think, the only consultant at the time really helping with the museum. And, we didn't have the facility how it is today. It was all white walls, and, a lot of work came into getting the facility itself. Of course, that's a long history of struggle there. But when it was introduced, I was going to her home on a daily basis, and we were, trying to just see what can we do to, really make the museum successful. And it wasn't open at the time.
Right. And something you mentioned very important is Ms. Talamante being a board member. And we'd like to encourage all of our audience to get involved, become board members of like Chicano Park Museum in Arizona. I'm very happy to say that we have Francisco Gutierrez, who's an attorney and a sponsor of Arizona Barrio Stories, but also the board chair. And he's been on there since the beginning. And we can't do what we're doing today without those board chairs. So we want to give a shout out to all the board chair of the Chicano Park Museum. So what is your vision for the museum?
Yes. So my vision really, again, from the beginning, I just really wanted to play a supportive role. And I think I've definitely explored like my own identity in this journey. I was, the exec admin assistant, and then appointed interim executive director, and then appointed executive director. So I really believe it was divine timing. And for me, the vision is to always show up for community and put them and put the community's needs at the forefront.
All right.
Again, there was a long history of struggle for us to be here in this spot today, for us to sit here and, have this interview. I recognize how much work was put in. And so my role, I do not take it lightly. I have a lot of honor in being here. And I really want to pay homage to the people that came before me and will continue it, So I really love to honor the youth, engaging youth leadership, and also the intergenerational knowledge that, I've been able to experience, but I want everyone to continue to be able to experience here, learning from our mentors, our elders, all the way down to the youth, I think is something, a great way we can preserve our histories, much like, this effort. Preserving our whole oral histories is super important. So my biggest, taking on, I guess, task I've been trying to take on is really laying an intentional foundation rooted in labor of love, right? Rooted in honoring our histories, this foundation for this museum, because, people, unfortunately, we come and go because circle of life. And, it's really important to to lay that foundation so that it can continue, because it will. This institution, this organization will last
Right.
for as long as we can, you know.
So we want to encourage our viewers to come to Chicano Park, see the murals. I know a lot of you come on vacation here and then you leave, but you can't. You have to stop in here and come to the museum, support it. So if we had individuals who want to donate to the museum, where would they donate?
Thank you. That's a great question. We do have a website. So our website is chicanoparkmuseum.org.
Okay.
And that
Very
is-
simple.
Yeah, that is where
Good.
you will be able to donate. I think we have a donate tab. So that's a great way.
Now, if there are artists out there that have pieces that they would want to do an art show, how would they contact you, or do
Yes.
you have various art shows that you do also?
Yes. So exactly, you know, going back to trying to lay down this foundation, a lot of it is trying to see, you know, what's a good process that we can really include people, you know, include people who have been here for a long
Right.
time, but also new and up and coming
Right.
artists. One way we're doing that is offering a community artist gallery.
Okay.
So that's been a really great way to consistently show up for artists. That's something we're really passionate about here. And so if they are interested either in that way, or we also have a museum store, you know, that's a great way. We've been able to support over 50 artists, and we want to continue doing that. So they can reach out to us. You know, I believe our contact information is on the website, and we are always looking to support. You know, it's definitely important to show up.
So the website again is chicanomuseum.org?
ChicanoParkMuseum.org.
ChicanoParkMuseum.org.
Yes.
So I want to thank you, Val.
Thank you.
You've been great. Our whole team thanks you for the hospitality. The minute we walked in the door, we felt like we were in our casa. Okay, so when you come to Arizona,
That's the goal.
yeah, you know, ya sabes donde tienes casa. So this is Dr. Jose Leyba, San Diego Barrio Stories at the Chicano Park Museum. Please download our app at Latino USA TV, and there you can find all of these stories, especially now that we've begun with San Diego. So once again, come back, visit us, donate to the museum, come to the store and buy something, because that way you are supporting the cause. Muchas gracias, and we will see you on our next segment of San Diego Barrio Stories and Latino USA TV. Adios.
Adios. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.